are you not entertained, man? Like,
Right.
hey, what's up? It's Rashad Antonio. We are the MCU Collective. We are here to talk about Agatha all along, season one, episode three. Do you know the name of this episode by any chance?
Trying to look it up.
Because I forgot.
I'm
Like
trying
I
to
was
look
really thinking about it, but
because
yeah,
it was a
yeah,
long daggone like
and it rhymed, right? It was like this
yeah.
very, yeah. Something about the where, I don't know. Either way, all spoilers. I got to talk about the thing to talk about the thing. Go ahead, Tony.
Yes. Name of the episode was episode 3, Through Many Miles of Tricks and Trials.
Trials. Yeah. So, picking up where we left off last time on the Witcher's Road.
Mhm.
And I gotta say, this episode definitely confirmed a couple major things
Yeah. Yeah.
and left a whole lot of questions.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Like they're doing and I'm so glad they made a switch to actually have a showrunner and somebody who actually has like what they call like the show makes like the show Bible
Mhm.
that tells you from beginning to end how the show is going to be because
Mhm.
this does not feel like a movie cut up in 6 episodes. It
Mhm.
feels like regular,
Mhm.
good old fashioned
Mhm.
American TV. You know what I'm saying? Like it
Mhm.
definitely feels like a show, and even the cliffhanger feels like a TV show cliffhanger.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's why I just want to get that out the way before we start.
Yeah. Let's just go ahead and get out the way what the obvious, you know, thing that we found out in the show. Um, the teenager, because once again, we don't know what this kid's name is basically Agatha's son that she sold to probably Mephisto or whatever to be able to get her hands on the
That's
Darkhold.
that's 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 what is definitely trying to tell us. Or
Or it could be a bait and switch.
yeah, or that's you know what I'm saying, that's Wiccan.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? It's
It is, yeah, that's true. It's about 80% trying to tell us, yeah, that's Agatha's kid, but Marvel Marvel isn't that stupid. I'm not gonna say stupid. They you know what it is? It's like my grandfather used to say, boy, he was like, boy, ain't nobody stupid in this family. We got people that do stupid things, but ain't nobody stupid. So Marvel has done some stupid things, but they're not stupid. I don't think this is something that they just put in our face blatantly, but it also could be what I'm saying, like a curveball, just to, what I'm saying,
yeah,
just to mess with. I think last week I did say I thought maybe that kid could possibly be Mephisto or whatever. I still think that could be a possibility. Slight now, ever since that came up because no one knew anything about this. Oh, Agatha had
nah,
it.
we straight got a straight Mephisto reference.
Yeah, right. We did get a Mephisto reference in this, and which now makes me goes on to say if that teenager is Agatha's kid, because if it's Agatha's kid, who's the father? Could the father actually be Mephisto? I mean, we don't know. And the scene that we're talking about for the people who may not have seen it and just like, hey, we want to hear these two guys talk about the show. Um, it was a scene where God, what was her name? That witch name? Because
So either way, it's some shit. Here's some modest character.
yeah. Here's the modest character. They're trying to get they're trying to get some things for the spell that they got to cast. We'll go over that in a minute. And the kid is like, hey, I'm gonna go over here. Teenager's like, hey, I'm gonna go get it. She says, hey, let me go help you. And she basically tells him, like, hey, look here, I know you're like enamored with her. I wouldn't trust Agatha. Like, I wouldn't trust Agatha as far as I could throw a mountain, like type thing or whatever. And he's like, what are you talking about? And she's like, look, Agatha's this the same witch that sold her child just to get the dark hole. You saw the look on that kid's face. He was like, "What? No, no, she wouldn't do that." She said, yes, she did.
She
She
said,
so,
well, that's what they say.
but she was like, well, that's what they say. So she was like, yo, just be careful with her, basically like, hey, I don't want to see you get hurt along,
Yeah.
along the way type,
and and
type
it
deal.
also was like, this, I mean, shoot, his son could be like, could be a demon, could be an agent from Mephisto. They said, hey
Mm-hmm.
man, we really don't know what happened to her son. So again, so that kind of also leads to that could be her son. And
Mm-hmm.
even if and which I would love if she knows and just isn't saying anything, because I just want to say
Mm-hmm.
Agatha is hella shady.
As
Like,
hell. As
yo,
hell.
the
As
entire
hell.
time she is trying to get over on them the entire time from episode one.
What?
She's
Mm-hmm.
trying to get over when as soon as she got out of the like the spell, she's been trying to get over on everybody. And they like,
Mm-hmm.
yo, we know you trash, yo. Like, why
Yeah.
are you trying to play games with us? We know you
Uh,
trash.
what happened in the first? Let's just call it the first set of episodes that came out. She was like, "Oh yeah, I'm getting this coming together. We're gonna hit the Witch's Road," and then she was just like, "Hey, come on, blast me, girls! Come on, give me your power." They're like, "Yeah, whatever. You trying to drain us for your power?" And then too, I'm also believing because Agatha kept saying, "Oh yeah, I did the Witch's Road." This heifer ain't done the Witch's Road. This heifer ain't done no witches. This heifer ain't done no witches road because for somebody to say, "Oh, I've done the witches road," and everything, she would be a little bit more prepared in knowing what's going on, especially like when they first found the witches road. She ain't know. Hey, it didn't take this long last time when the door finally appeared, and then when they got there. And even in this episode, it was like, so what do we do? Which way do we go? And this and that. And she, I'm like, maybe it's in the rhyme and the song. She has no idea about it. So this episode picks right up after the last episode ends, where Agatha and her new coven of witches, they, what I'm saying, they're on the witches road and they're walking and they're just like, oh snap, I can't believe we're here. Even some of the other witches was like, hey yo, I thought this was just some bull. I didn't think this was a real, what I'm saying, this is
Mm-hmm.
kind of like a real thing. Meanwhile, old Miss Hart, aka Sharon, called me Sharon, is like, I don't know what the hell is going on here. I am still very confused by that character completely because it's like, is she a witch? Is she not a witch? Is she maybe under a spell?
I don't know
I
because it's like they made her the point of view character for the
mm-hmm,
audience. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Because everybody else is pretty much gung ho, and she's like, "What do you mean, Witch's Road?" So
Yeah, yeah.
she's really trying to ask the questions for us, and she's so confused. And it's
Mm-hmm.
funny because they're talking, going back and forth, and having this conversation, and she just kind of like skedaddles off.
Wanders off. You know, to think of, what I look at it as, Rashad, I looked at it as like, when you and the with parents that lose their kids in the mall, they might see a friend or they start talking to somebody and everything. It's like, Johnny, where did little Johnny go or whatever? Johnny said, "Yo, after this, I'm tired of being a fashion bug. I'm trying to." Trying to make my way down to the arcade or something like that. That's we know malls aren't
That
really a hit
is,
thing no more,
yo,
but
that was an amazingly old reference.
yeah.
Fashion. Yeah, man. So she wanders off and actually about to get sucked in by some like goo on the side of the road. And
Yeah.
they had to come save her. And she's all like muddy and gooey. And they're like, look, yo, you can't wander off the road, literally. You know what I'm
You're like,
saying?
uh-huh.
And so they start walking. And again, your girl doesn't know a thing. And it's
Mm-hmm.
like, and it turned around was like, oh snap. What do we see? Is that a house? So
A
like
beach.
so the road transitions to like a house on a beach, and then they walk to the house,
Mm-hmm.
and everybody goes inside, and like this gotta be a party, this gotta be a trial or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and they close the door. All of a sudden, the doors ain't got no doorknobs and nothing because
Mm.
for some reason Agatha was going to dip on them at the house.
Yeah.
I'm
You saw
like,
she backed up and she was like reaching for the and she said, damn. She
hey, where the doorknob go?
Once
And
again, which lets me know Agatha ain't done no daggone witch's road or
nah,
whatever.
yo, she's definitely playing games, man. And they get into the house
Mm-hmm.
and they're just trying to figure out why they are there and like what's the
Mm-hmm.
whole point of it all. And
Mm-hmm.
then there's a they get a little if somebody finds a note
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The
and
and
has like
they
on the mantle has a little riddle on it talking about, I'm better, basically it's
I
like a
grow
riddle.
better. I grow better for with time,
Yeah.
and you know what I'm saying. Yeah, basically the
Yeah.
answer was.
Basically, is also with a crowd, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's wine.
Mm-hmm.
And then Miss Hart says wine because she literally sees the wine and
Mm-hmm.
then she instantly starts drinking. You know what I'm saying? Like, didn't even waste no time. It was like, oh snap, I've had a hard day.
Yeah.
I'm drinking some wine. So everybody starts drinking the wine. Daggone Agatha gets a glass and pours the glass
To a plant.
in a plant. And as she's waiting around, just kind of surveying the scenes to see how everybody reacts to the
Mm-hmm.
wine glass, what's the word I'm looking for here? Replenishes itself.
Replenishes, yes.
And she's
And
like,
if you don't know what that means, think about at the very end of the end credit scene of Doctor Strange when Thor came to visit him
oh
and
yeah, yeah,
Thor
then
took
during the
out
post credit.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
Thor
yeah,
took out
yeah.
that pint of beer, and then the glass just filled back up, and Thor was like, "Oh, all right, man, that's cool." So yeah, it just completely replenished itself that way. The only other person who hasn't had any wine is the kid, the teenager,
And I'm
because
and I'm very glad that they didn't let the kid drink because he's
yeah,
like even on the Witches Row, he's still underage, and that would
yeah,
have
right,
been
mm-hmm,
conflict of interest for the real world.
mm-hmm.
But yeah, so everybody has something to drink
But
except
remember
for
what happened?
like,
Soon as Mrs. Sharon she started drinking, a time clock appeared,
yeah,
and it
yeah.
started counting down with 30 minutes left, like 30 minutes and left, and they were just like, "Yo, what the hell do we do?"
So they're like, oh, her face blows up like she had like this like weird Botox slash like almost like a Jim Henson puppet looking thing,
She
and
she needed
happened
some Benadryl.
ASAP.
Zap.
Put it in my veins. You know what I'm
Yo, she was
saying?
looking like Will Smith and Hitched. I'm talking about the day when he got ate the little. But it was worse than that, dude. Like it was looking like those horrible, super, yeah. Oh God, what's the chick? The Muppet Janice. That's what that played the guitar, Rashad. That's in Dr. Teeth's band. That's how her face, lips was all swelled up face, and they were like, "Oh my God!" And she's like, "Well, is it bad?" Yeah, yeah. And then next thing you know, all the rest of them started face puffing up, it's swelling up. And she said, "Oh my God, is that how I look?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And then Agatha just sitting there looking like, "Ooh, glad I ain't drink none. I ain't drink none of this nonsense." And so, um, oh God, I'm gonna get this woman's name right, Rashawn, if it kills me.
Oh, you talking about the Jennifer Kell.
Yes, Jennifer Kale is like, we got to figure out what she says. Oh my God, that's poison. We got to figure out what type of poison, what I'm saying, it is. And next thing you know, like since Sharon, Mrs. Hart was the first one to drink, it wears off first. And they're like, so how do you feel? Do you feel this? And she's like, no, I'm cool or whatever. And they're trying to figure out what's going on. And then they was like, well, I think we all got to drink this, and this is a trial, and we got to get through it. And then they noticed it, and then it was like, well, we actors like, yeah, well, we all drank it. She said nothing happened to me, and it was like, no, you didn't. Your glass right there. Agatha saw the cup glass replenished. Was like, oh man, f that glass, threw it down the ground and shattered it. And she was like, oh, I guess I can't do it. Whatever. Go ahead, girls, figure out what's going on. And then next thing you know, another glass just replenishes, and she's like, fine. And the funny thing is, after she drinks it, she's like, this is horrible, cheap. This is like some cheap, cheap wine. And they're just trying to figure out what it is. And kind of find out this is why you had witches that had special talents, what they
Yeah.
specialize in. So that's when Agatha was like, figured out, well, Jennifer, you're the potions master. you better daggone find us. You know what I'm saying? You need to find us
We found an
uh
antidote.
antidote, make an antidote. And
Open
she's
up
like,
that
fine.
window.
Right. And Jennifer at the meantime had figured out what you know what I'm saying, what
Yeah,
poison
yeah,
it
your
was.
poison it was,
It
and
basically was like the next thing that was going to happen is that they may hallucinate, they're going to lose feeling in their hands, all that good stuff or whatever. So she's like, all right, I think I know an anecdote. We need this. And it's so funny because there's growing up, we've all heard growing up, we've heard witches story where witches are like, we're making my witch's brew. I have newts. This is that. It's just fantastical names that they gave like regular,
your regular
regular,
household
regular
items, which was
household. Yeah, it was
yeah,
I am newt was like what like mustard seed or something, like mustard seed or something like that. So all of them go on their little, they split up to go find what they need to find to make the potion, help her make the potion. And that's when Jennifer Kale tells the teenager, the
yeah,
story
yeah,
of
everything
Agatha
yeah,
and stuff that we talked about earlier. So they next thing you know, they each start to hallucinate.
yeah. And this is the interesting part for me
Yeah.
because it kind of gives us. I mean, it works as exposition for us because
Mm-hmm.
first we see Lilia, Patty LuPone's character,
Mm-hmm.
as her younger self from like the Renaissance area.
Because she's the oldest one out of all. What's she like
That
400 something years old, man? Yeah.
her and Agatha like neck and neck. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, we see her like from the Renaissance era, and it's like all old and decrepit looking. And
Mm-hmm.
like the crazy thing, she was walking the hallway. It was like, "Hey, you want to see?" And she was like, "Uh huh, I want to see it." And she
Mm-hmm.
instantly regretted that because it was a straight up like just horror, like like Renaissance horror,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like nasty, and it was talking to her because like everybody's trying to basically like facing up to their greatest fear. I mean, that's what
Mm-hmm.
it really is. It's their greatest fear.
Mm-hmm.
And if something happened when she was, during that era of her life where something went awry and she's
Mm-hmm.
still holding on to that.
Mm-hmm.
Then we get Jen with this random doctor
Yeah.
thinking she's trying to like basically kill her like asphyxiate her underwater.
Yeah, he was trying to drown her, holding her
Yeah,
head down under the water or whatever. That was yeah,
yeah,
I was
and
like,
no,
what the hell this white man trying to do this with this woman right here? Yo, for real.
yeah, like
Whatever.
and she said something about like I think like take my power or something. Like it was like he did
Yeah.
something. I don't know. Hopefully, we get back to that soon because that was like
Uh-huh.
very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Then what
Alice.
else happened? Oh yeah,
Alice sees
Alice.
her mother. Yeah.
Oh, this was crazy. I thought it was really about to show it. I'm like, yo, so
Yeah.
because we see what happens to Alice's mom, but she basically just, as Tony would say, committed seppuku. But
Mm-hmm.
but it didn't, but it haven't her reasoning for going on the witches road is to find out why.
Mm-hmm.
Like the why of that is was really getting to her because even in the episode she talks about her mom and she had a tattoo was basically
Mm-hmm.
like to ward off evil spirits or whatever. So this
Mm-hmm.
is like it's still this big influence of her mom in her life,
Mm-hmm.
and she's trying to figure out like why did she just ended it all and not explain anything.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have Agatha. Agatha starts tripping balls too.
She hearing baby crying.
Yeah, she sees like a nursery and everything. She looks in the bassinet, and what's in that joint?
The dark
The
hole.
daggone dark hole is in there. So it's so that theory we put at the beginning, what Tony did, it like it would make so much sense. You know what I'm saying? The only other thing that I could think of is if like, which was like theorized way back in WandaVision, is if the bunny Nicholas Scratch is her son. But other than that, you know what I'm saying? Like there's a couple angles to that. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, I forgot about
Because
that.
that
Yeah.
bunny been everywhere and she love that bunny.
Mm-hmm.
So because that's kind of what the people was thinking like early on. Yo, is that her son or is that
Mephisto.
Mephisto?
Right.
So, but like I don't, it's definitely not Mephisto, but it could just be a manifestation of her son that she had to trade. Like, oh yeah, you can get the Darkhold, but you
Mm-hmm.
can't have your son in the way that you had your son.
Mm-hmm.
So, so all of them go through the trials and end up back in the kitchen. Everybody finds the item that they need to find, put it all in the sink. The teen is resourceful. It has like that cooking item where you can just heat up water or whatever.
I never heard of that before. I was like,
I've seen it before, but I didn't know what it was called. You know what I'm
okay,
saying? So
okay,
so yeah, and of course that was a very sexy kitchen. So they would have something like that.
uh-huh,
I'm not even gonna be upset with the show, but yeah, that so they end up figuring it out, and as they're doing this, countdown is going on. No, don't forget Miss Hart laid out on the table because she done
mm-hmm,
passed out,
mm-hmm,
and all of a sudden the stove opens up and it's a tunnel.
mm-hmm.
So they finish the thing. Oh
What
yeah,
was that? They they put all the stuff ingredients in the little sink, and it was like, is this the right color? This thing changed. They weren't sure, and Jen didn't believe in herself because of her powers, and she was like, "Look, yo, I can't. Whatever. I've been bound. I can't. I don't know. I don't remember this." And Agatha gives her kind of like a Newt Rockney pep talk, like, "Look here, yo." She says, "I hate you, but you are the best potions for." He said, "There, he may have bound you with your powers, but the one thing he can't bind is your knowledge and what you know." And she was like, "You know what the final ingredient is to put in this thing." And she sat there and she was like, "You're right. We need blood of somebody who hasn't drank this." Luckily, we got the team there. She says, "Hey, good thing you brought you along. You didn't drink this, kid." Sliced his hand open, dropped his blood in, became the right color. They started sipping on it. And the time clock was like, "What's the clock still?" "Oh, yeah, Sharon's over here." So they had to force the water, force it down in their mouth. In the meantime, before that happened, they noticed that the house they had there was like underwater, sea level,
yeah, it's on a
and
flood. Yeah,
it was
yeah.
starting to flood. So like you said, the oven. The funny thing is, this show does a lot of callbacks, especially in the credits, to like witches that we have all known throughout time and history. But also they done it in this show. The stove opened up. There's like, I guess we got to go through this. And Pat LaPone character was like, "Oh, no, 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 no. I had a friend who did this. She had a really good house." If y'all don't know, that is Hansel and Gretel, the witch from Hansel and
That is.
that's the witch from Hansel and Gretel that they pushed into the
Push
stove.
it to the stove.
She said, "Oh, no, 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 no. I had a friend
Oh
who
man.
died like this. She had a great house. Remember, she had the gingerbread candy house or whatever." And
That's a good cat show.
they was like, "Man, get your ass up in this thing." And so they all get out, and when they go into the stove and like they go down like one of those big old slides like that was in the Goonies movie. And
Tony.
when they
Tony.
hey, you guys.
Yo, the way that they were not uniform going down that slide. I mean, there was there was every which way but the right way. And it was hilarious how they just was stumbling down that joint, yo.
You
I was
know,
like,
it reminded me of like remember back in the day, Rashad, we used to go to water country and we would get on one of them inner tube slide, and sometimes you would lose the inner tube and you lose you just tumbling through the dangle. That's how they look
yeah,
coming
yeah. They look
coming out there.
like they were at some
Coming,
sort of like random like traveling fair thing. Like it just was
yeah.
like, very ain't no ocean restrictions over there. Yeah, all right.
Mm-mm.
But so
Yeah.
they get down the path. Everybody, safely exits the house through the stove.
Uh-huh.
And it's like, okay, everybody's all here. Check on Miss Hart. Miss
Dead.
Hart dead.
Dead as a doornail.
I was like, yo, they just killed the lady who wasn't even a witch. Like that's crazy.
Did she have a smile on her face or something like
I mean,
that?
she seemed pretty content. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm,
I don't.
I was like, did they cross into the DCU? Did she take the Joker venom or something or whatever? Because she was just sitting there. It was like, oh snap, and fade to black. That's the episode right there.
Episode, man. Like the strong TV episode. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Nice little cliffhanger.
Mm-hmm.
Start off next week again.
So
I appreciate it.
I figure each episode probably leading
Like,
up to the finale is going to be each episode is going to be a trial of them
yeah.
going through what they got to do to prove. So Jen did her trial, And I guess the next trial, who knows? It might be Patty LaPone's character, or it could be Lisa, the warrior witch. So yeah, man. I mean, solid episode that may have answered some questions, but I don't think really answered nothing at all because we got what 8 episodes this season, or is this 8 or 10 episodes?
It's 9.
9 episodes. So
Yeah.
we got 3 episodes out the way. We got what 6 more to go. So
Yeah. Shout out to the director on this episode. This episode, the next episode, the tone is probably gonna be a lot the same. It's
mm-hmm.
Rachel Goldberg. She
Mm-hmm.
directed a lot of TV. She American Horror Story. She did Cloak and Dagger, did Raising Dion, American Gods, Resident Evil. She did the Gen V episode. So like, yeah, she got a lot of
So you know what I'm starting to think,
got a
man?
lot of credits going on.
Since she directed this episode and the next 2 after that, this may be
Yeah, like
a
yeah,
three
yeah,
story
yeah.
arc or whatever. So yeah.
Yeah. Like that, like it was a well done episode. I like how it looks and this how some of the choices that they made in this episode were really well thought.
And you know what? It flowed and went by really. It went by quick, but it went by quick, but didn't see. But it was enough to put a lot of information in it for
Yeah.
it to go by, whatever. Like you said, come off like a weekly episodic show or something like that, man.
Strong episode of
Mm-hmm.
Agatha all along. That's all we got for this one, guys.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be back tomorrow, 12 noon, with the penultimate. I'm so mad as y'all. We need like 3 more episodes of that joint of the Rings of Power season 2, episode 7. And man, if y'all like, I really implore you all to watch the show, y'all.
Yeah.
Like if you don't want to watch season 1, just watch our reviews.
Yeah.
But you should, because it's everything, and I appreciate it because everything is paying off from the first season, even though it moved kind of slow for
Mm-hmm.
for you no, never mind. I don't want to tell anybody. But yeah, it's 12 noon tomorrow on that. Also, figure it out. Penguin dropping Sundays at 9 from here on out. So our episodes will be on Monday at 7. Thank the Lord, because like, whew, last week was stressful, that out. But
Y'all
yeah,
don't know, man. We was hurting last week.
I ain't getting no rest last weekend either. So
Yeah.
I'm tired right now. But either way,
Yeah.
we appreciate y'all. That's all we got for this one. We will see you guys on the next one. Peace.